It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Raiders and the Patriots on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. A moment ago, the pride of Massachusetts, the Patriots, introduced to this, as always, sold-out crowd as they get set to go head-to-head with Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome again, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
Here's the punter, Jake Bailey, ready to do the honors. And we are underway in Foxborough. Taken at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
The Raiders set to go to work behind their veteran quarterback, and that's Derek Carr.
It's been fun to watch his development through the years, and right now what you see is a very confident quarterback who has a strong sense of self, totally understands the offense, and knows how to get the ball to his playmakers on the run.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And that's caught. It's Brian Edwards. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory.
Let's go.
A huge play there right off the bat. Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
Yeah, and this is what we mean when we talk about flipping the field, having your offense look at going a long way to a short way after he makes a play. His ability to do that, evident. Able to make the catch there, keep his momentum going, and just continue downfield.
And looking at the next-gen stats, boy, what a play indeed. He covered better than 60 yards after that catch. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
So often you hear that pep talks don't really work in the heat of the battle, but collectively, this defense has to say to each other, we've been on our heels this whole first drive. This is where we need to dig in. And they got a nice stop right there for a loss on first and goal.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Well, they've gotten it to the 4 on this opening drive, but now they face a 3rd and goal. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Great defense there on 3rd and goal. They took away everything. Forced him to fire that one to the sideline where no one could get it.
So Carr will depart, and on comes the Raider kicker Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Carlson able to put this one through. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. On the return is J.J. Taylor. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So here come the Patriots to take over on offense. They'll be led by the Heisman finalist from a season ago, the rookie from Alabama, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones absolutely believed in himself coming out of high school. Went to Alabama despite the fact there are many high-profile quarterbacks already on the roster and blossomed into a Heisman Trophy candidate in his final season with 41 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Steady, consistent as a passer, doesn't have the biggest cannon for an arm, but can stretch the field and lay those passes in on the deep ball.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing, Jones. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Jones. And he's going to drop this down to Harris, middle of the field. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jones. Checking this down to Stevenson. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
On 1st down, Jones. Open man is Myers. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
This is our time. Our time. Here we go. Shaq. Hawk 70. Hawk 70. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end. Everyone go.
On 2nd down, it's Harris. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
They'll run. Here's Harris. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
48 to Mike. Let's go, D. Gonna be a long day.
They hand this off to Harris, and he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter from Foxborough. It's the homestanding Patriots with the football. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7.
42 to Mike.
Jones now to throw on 3rd down.
Setting up a screen for Stevenson.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
And Folk's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Going a little tennis on me,
I know you. You like to mix it up with
like
sports.
That. They crack a forehand back out and they get a backhand. What was the serve? What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I
and
like
a
that
really
one.
good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole
little
thing.
bit.
I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away.
Jalen Richard now on the return. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
2nd drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Carr. And this is incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Carr to throw.
Open man is Edwards. He's got it. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Brian Edwards.
54 yards. And the Raiders have taken the lead.
And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump, and he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
And the next-gen stats tell us he took it better than 30 yards after that initial contact.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and the lead is now 10-3. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
Taylor decides not to try to return it, and this will come out to the 25-yard line.
So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Back to throw. Jones. And this is going to be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
The Patriots send out their punter.
Hunter Renfrow deep to return for the Raiders.
And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10.
Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Well, they run with Jacobs on 1st down, and he'll take this forward for about 5.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Throwing now is Carr. And that is incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt.
Gunnar Olszewski deep for New England.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So the Patriots coming out now. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
7 yards, the pickup there.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
2nd down and 3.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Coming to you, coming to you.
On the give, this is Harris. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. We remind you in just a couple of minutes we'll get you to Orlando and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Complete, Hunter Henry with a grab. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now it looks like we've got a Patriot down, slow to get up. We'll get a report when we return to Foxborough. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Looking to throw. Jones. That's complete into the hands of Myers. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. The Patriots send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr now to throw. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack.
They can't stop.
Now the Patriots will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
So now Carr and the Raiders dealt a 3rd and long after that sack. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. The Patriots will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Patriots take over. New England trying to get to place on offense. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be a 2nd down. Now the Patriots moving quickly, hustling up to the line. From the 45 on 2nd down, Jones. He's going to air one out, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
Jones from the gun on 3rd down. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. The Patriots send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm. Throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. From midfield, here's Carr. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over him, and they got there to break that one up.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3 on what should be the final play of this first half. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for the Raiders in that first half. And even though they've got the lead, they're likely going over ways they can improve the running game. as they didn't find a whole lot of success in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football, and they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Johnson now returning. And able to get this out to the 25.
We got this.
For the Patriots taking over to start quarter number 3. They do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
Jones throw pulled in by Aguilar. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. Jones. He's got it complete to Aguilar. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
And now following that last play, I do believe we're going to get a review here. Yes, indeed, the red flag is out. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
All day.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 2nd and 9, Jones. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Good coverage on the outside, and I think that's where he wanted to check that down to. But once he saw the danger over there, he just threw that one over everyone's head. Smart play.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Jones. Going up top. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. And now Derek Carr. He is the focus of our player spotlight. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it. We got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. Down here in the third quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Carr. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Kyle Van Noy able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down.
This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Vegas. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Now the safety, Trayvon Merrick, up to make the play defensively.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Where's 52? Watch 52.
They run again with Harris. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
Let's go.
Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll get a report when we return to Foxborough. Here's Jones on 1st down. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
Las Vegas's offense back out there ready to go.
Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Now after the INT, it's Carr. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Kyle Van Noy able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Still 15 yards to go, second down. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This one from 35 yards away. The kick by Carlson is good, and they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3.
So the lead extended, and I think at this point you say, hey, defense, take us to the end.
Well, if I got some good music to put to that, I could have a good country hit. I like the way you expressed yourself there. I think the offense has done enough so far, but like you say, if your defense is only giving up 3 points, makes it a lot easier to settle for field goals on this side of the ball.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. On the return, it's Taylor.
And he returns this to the 22.
That's it, Betty. We gonna work.
Here comes Mac Jones and the rest of the Patriot offense.
And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
7 yards, the pickup there.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
On second down, it's Stevenson.
Let's go, fellas.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Jones. Got the connection here to Bourne. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones.
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
Picked off by Denzel Perryman.
And the Raiders will take over possession here up at the 44.
What did you see there, Charles, on that interception from the rookie?
They've shown him certain looks on defense throughout the first half, and they pulled the string here in the second half because he got used to those looks, and they showed the exact same thing, but changed it up just a little bit where he thought something was open, and now with the change in defense, it no longer was.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. Fights through him. Still fighting. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
Let's go.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
I know you felt that one.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
4 yards remain for second down.
You get block me. You get block me.
Carr. And this will be incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
The Raiders on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Carr. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jacobs. Touchdown! Josh Jacobs, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead.
An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the fourth quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
Taylor now from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Patriots ready to try again on offense.
And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the inning, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
From the 29, Jones. That ball's caught. Aguilar, right side. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jones. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
New England on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to... And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Solomon Thomas with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense?
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive.
And he'll let this go deep for Bourne.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
6-18.
They'll run on first down. Jacobs.
45 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
2nd and 4.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day.
Check. Watch 54.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. On first down, it's Jacobs. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
58, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done, down to the 15 from the 21. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on 3rd down. To throw his Carr. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45.
So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.